Hello, everyone. I wanted to speak out today on the South African Human Rights Commission's findings on Wednesday on the hate speech complaints lodged against EFF leader Julius Malema and another member of his party. So, in short, they say that the things that he's been saying forever do not constitute hate speech. So the South African Human Rights Commission says that he is not guilty of hate speech. There were 5 complaints of hate speech leveled against the EFF leaders. Malema and a member of his party have been dismissed by the South African Human Rights Commission. 4 of the hate speech complaints were lodged against Malema, while the 5th was against the Secretary General of the EFF. In 2016, after a court appearance, as reported by Business Tech, Malema addressed a crowd of supporters and said, "The party is not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now." In another incident, Malema made a comment at a rally about Indians mistreating black people in the province. The 3rd complaint was in relation to the singing of the song "Kiss the Boer." So it's supposed to be a parody of "Kill the Boer." I don't find it funny. And it's not a parody. It is a passive-aggressive way to still sing the song. So instead of saying kill, you're saying kiss, which is the same thing. Everyone knows what you mean. So, and he was singing this during a Human Rights Day address in 2018. Jeez. And so the last complaint lodged against him related to a statement made also in 2018 when he said the majority of Indian people are racist. Really, Julius Malema? Because you are the most racist person I've ever seen in my life. I would also like to say that along with singing Kiss the Boer, he often taunts the white minority community in Afrikaans during these rallies. So normally he would never speak their language because he says it's racist. Their very language, their culture is racist. But he does it at his rallies to his followers. And he does this with a purpose. And it is so to let them know trouble's coming, or I'm coming for you. Because like I said, normally he would never speak their language. So all 5 complaints were found not to amount to hate speech after a rigorous legal constitutional procedure was followed by the Commission. I highly doubt that. The Commission came to the conclusion that while the complaints may be quite offensive, they do not meet the legal threshold to qualify as hate speech. Okay. Let's check out the legal threshold for hate speech. So, the hate speech bill says the South African Prevention and Combating of Hate Crimes and Hate Speech Bill is based on the constitutional provision providing that everyone has inherent dignity and the right to have their dignity respected and protected. The bill recognizes that the constitutional foregrounded and protective right of freedom of expression does not extend to propaganda for war, incitement of imminent violence, or advocacy of hatred that is based on race, ethnicity, gender, religion, that constitutes incitement to cause harm. This bill offers the widest possible definition of hate speech as any communication, gestures, display, expression, written, illustrated, visual, or other descriptive matter, oral statement, representation, or electronically mediated, stored, or retrievable that is publicly accessible and advocates hatred toward any person or group of persons that demonstrates a clear intention to incite others to harm any person or group of persons, whether or not such person or group of persons is harmed, or stir up violence against or bring into contempt or ridicule any person or group of persons based on race, gender, sex, ethnic or origin, color, sexual orientation, religion, belief, culture, language, birth, disability, HIV status, nationality, identity, albinism, or occupation or trade. So this is section 41A of this bill. So basically all of the things listed, Julius Malema regularly does. He stirs up violence against, brings into contempt, ridicule, based on race, and he advocates hatred toward a group of people. I don't understand how they would come to this conclusion when it's on video multiple times. It just makes no sense. So if that is what the bill says, and Julius Malema was cleared of 4 counts of hate speech, why then was Miss Vicky Momberg, who is a white woman, why was she fined R$100,000, okay, and she received 3 years in prison with a 1-year suspended sentence? She had originally called the police because she was being robbed and her car was being broken into. When they arrived, she was very upset, and she called one of the officers. She was calling him the K word. For any American watching that doesn't know what that is like an American saying the N word. So she did this, and it was on video. So in court, her attorneys, they said her behavior was due to her emotional state after being robbed and waiting for the police. She was shown no mercy. She received the 3-year sentence and the fine of R$100,000 for saying a racist slur. So Julius Malema, the privileged majority, and a political party leader, is allowed to call for the murder of all white people. He is allowed to sing openly to his followers to kill all white people while he makes machine gun sounds and says genocide. Okay, and they sing along. He is allowed to go on interviews and openly say that the EFF is not calling for the murder of all whites yet. That's an imminent threat. So no, he's not calling for it right now, but it's a possibility in the future. Okay, that's in that hate speech bill. He can do whatever he wants, but a regular citizen that happens to have a white face that says this goes to prison. I would also like to say that there are many photos, there are many videos of people sitting in restaurants wearing shirts that say F white people, F white tears, kill the Boer, all kind of things. These people, I haven't seen these people prosecuted. It's complete double standards. It's not right. The white minority community, which only makes up 8% of the population, by the way, over a period of almost 25 years, they have had every right, basic human right, stolen from them. And it's gotten to this point where this man can openly call for their murder and have no consequences whatsoever. That's not right. No person in politics representing a political party should ever say anything like this about another group or race of people. That is racist. Yet this corrupt government, the ruling party, and the EFF constantly do things like this, and it's okay. And the ANC, they don't really openly say this, but they do nothing. They know if they're okay with it, they do nothing. So on top of having your own political leaders calling for your slaughter of your entire family, they're unable to get any government aid. The squatter camps, those people, those children, they do not receive government aid. They're not allowed to because of their skin color. But other squatter camps with people of other races, as long as they're not white, they do qualify for government aid. This is racist. Again, this government brainwashes their followers to keep them dependent on them. But they've brainwashed them to believe that every problem they have is because of this tiny minority of white people that live in this country. So I would love to have facts on how this tiny minority who have had their population, their farming population cut in half since 1994, are responsible for the problems of the 90% of the population. The answer is they are not. The answer is that the government is responsible for all of the suffering of the people of South Africa because it is so thoroughly corrupt. Every government agency from the post office to the airport is thoroughly corrupt. The mismanagement of everything from the post office to Escom to everything has led to almost an economic collapse. And if it continues the way it is, there will be an economic collapse. But this government, this has gone on for far too long. And I've experienced the level of hate and brainwash from the followers of this government, myself, and it's unimaginable, really. I couldn't believe it because that's the one thing that I didn't fully understand was the mindset of the people who committed these farm murders, the attacks. I didn't realize the level of hate until I was attacked myself. I was called a filthy war criminal with the blood of Native Americans on my hands. I was not alive when this country was founded, so I'm not responsible for what was done before I was even born. I was also told that Trump had opened up the door for them to come and take my land in Texas. Good luck. When I tried to have civil discourse or civil debate, I got nothing except called a racist and a white supremacist, just because I said something or asked a question they didn't have a valid answer to. And so that's the go-to, is just racist, racist. So I finally just stopped trying to have reason or civil conversation, and I just started blocking all of them, because after I was called a racist, and then I told them that, well, actually, you calling me that is racist. To accuse me of being a racist because you don't like a question that I asked that you don't have an answer to, without evidence of actual racism, is racist, and it makes you an asshole. Then I'm threatened with rape, torture, and there's no solution, because they seek no solution. They seek to only murder and destroy an entire race, population of people. They openly say this online. There's no reasoning. The level of delusion is something I've never experienced before. I'm not sure if it's a combination of lack of education and being indoctrinated and lied to by this socialist government, and they just believe it. I'm not sure exactly how they were able to brainwash this mass amount of people, but it's very disturbing and scary that this is going on. And I wish more people would get involved so that they really understood the dynamics and the magnitude of the problem, because it goes far beyond the murders. There are so many other factors in this whole shitstorm in South Africa that lead up to these brutal and horrifying murders, tortures, gang rapes. There's so many other things, and the government is solely responsible. Cyril Ramaphosa, Julius Malema, Jacob Zuma, you are all directly responsible for every murder, every rape, every slaughter of an entire family, even their dogs, every attack. Your incitement and your failure to act has caused every single one of these, and you need to be held responsible. The last thing I would like to say is I made a post today, and I added the link to the White House to write a letter to the president. And what I said in the post is that, yes, the president probably doesn't see a lot of things that come in letters individually. If everyone shares this information, takes a few minutes out of their day to write him a letter, they cannot ignore 10,000 letters. You know, if they get that kind of flood of emails, there's going to be talk, you know. They're going to go to him and say, you might want to see this. 10,000 emails just came in about South Africa. So I urge everyone to not say, oh, well, it doesn't matter, it's just one letter. It does matter, because if everyone writes one letter, it becomes a huge number that can't be ignored. So please, everyone, Americans, South Africans, Canadians, Australians, anybody watching, please take a few minutes out of your time to write a letter detailing what you experience there daily, and or what you know to be happening there. If you speak to people, tell their stories. Tell your story if it's happening to you. Please, we have to force this attention. We have to fight for it. No one's going to give it to us. And everyone already knows that. But you can't just lay down and do nothing. That's not the answer. I get a lot of comments saying, well, your government got us into this. Well, they're not doing anything. Okay, so just quit. No. You keep fighting. No one ever accomplished anything that gave up. And so I'm not going to give up. So everyone, please take part in this and make this happen. Let's flood them with letters about the truth. And when I say the truth, I mean the truth, everything. Tell them the worst of it. Tell them everything you live through every single day. Tell them why you're not able to get jobs. Tell them what happens to the families in these attacks. Tell them that there's affirmative action for the 90%. Tell them that your homes look like prisons, and yet you still don't sleep at night for fear of attack. Tell them everything. And if we all do it at one time, someone is going to hear us. I'm going to write the president, which I've done several times. I'm going to send with that a letter and a plea for assistance from the BL. I'm also going to write my senator again, my congressman again. I'm going to send a couple of things with my letter. So I'm going to put the link in the comments, in the description of the video. Please take some time and do your part in helping these people. And so with that, I will end this video. Thank everyone. I thank everyone for paying attention, watching, and hearing me out. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.